Everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. For those of you who've gone over to the other channel where the star sign readings are, the link is in the box below if you haven't, but thank you too for joining me there. I hit 1,000. So it's always good to have a mark. It's just awesome. So thank you. I can't think of anything else to say, I don't think. I'm still open for personal readings. It's been a little quiet this Christmas, which is very unusual because last Christmas I was flat out, so it's sort of expected the same. But anyway, everything is good. All right, I'm going to get into your reading. All right, so we're starting off with the Hanged Man today. So the Hanged Man, I feel like, is a little bit of a self-explanatory card. I think there are lots of cards in the tarot that when you look at them, you immediately get the feeling of what that card is about. The Hanged Man talks about sort of being in a pause. It talks about not sort of making any decisions, you know, taking time out to look at things from different perspectives. Very often comes up when something's happened and we need to sort of rethink where we're going or what we need to do. It is also about sort of seeing things from another perspective. Maybe you've got very stuck in a way of seeing things, and maybe somehow or another, you know, someone can always, if you're open-minded, someone can always sway something, even if you've been looking at it that way for a long while. And sometimes, you know, even if you don't agree with what somebody says, you still want to take that time out to sort of have a think about it, though, because even if it doesn't fit you, it's really important for you to see why people perhaps see you that way. Whatever this is, it is about having a change of mind, a change of mindset, a change of direction, a way of thinking. Whatever it is, you are in a pause or on a fence or waiting for something to perhaps tip you over into the next energy. Oh, okay. So it seems to me either you've had an epiphany moment. These are both major arcana. You've either had an epiphany moment, a wake-up call, something's happened where you have to reconsider. Sometimes, for example, say your job finishes, you get a redundancy, and it comes very suddenly in a physical form. And then, of course, you have to go back to thinking about where am I going to go? What do I do? What's the plan? It could be that you've had an epiphany that's changed the way you think, and then you've gone into this energy. So whichever way it is, we do have Pisces and Scorpio energy here, so it could always be somebody that's sort of put you in that energy, or changed something on you you weren't expecting to see changed. So let's go a little bit further because you're rebuilding here. I feel like for some people here, I'm talking about a sudden change in your working environment with this Three of Pentacles. It could be that you suddenly get a job. I feel like I might be talking to somebody who was told they didn't have the job, and there's been a turnaround on that. There's a definite feel that something has come out of your control, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just put you in the energy of deciding which way to go with this. I just feel okay. Look, somebody could have slapped a holiday on you overseas. You know, my friend can't go overseas with me. You know, I need someone to go. Can you come with me? That's the sort of energy that comes through here. It could be that you have had, as I said, some sort of difference, some sort of change in your job. Maybe somebody has asked you to step up in your role. For example, you know how when you're working for a while, somebody may have offered you a small contract to jump into another position. We've all had that happen. It's a bit of a shock. Especially if you're jumping up a level and somebody comes and says, I need someone to do this particular role, and you've never done it before. But they obviously have the faith in you to do that because you've got the 10 of Cups here. So whatever this is, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's very much the energy of maybe learning something new, seeing something in a different perspective. Maybe with that Hanged Man, you haven't done whatever it is before and you're being given some great opportunity. Let's get into the reading a bit further. I do want to say too, thank you for those who downloaded my podcast on Buzzsprout. I noticed there's been a number of downloads, which is really awesome because it was my first attempt at doing those. I will get back to doing them. There's a couple of things I want to talk on. One of them is intensely on the twin flame thing, but I want to sort of plan out what I need to say because it is audio. You just have to think about things differently to what you do when you're facing, you know, a screen where you can see your face. It's a very different thing. All right, so we have the King of Wands coming through. I'm going to pull another card before I read him. Ace of Pentacles. I feel like for some of you, you're getting a job offer. I feel like here, I have to say, for some of you, this may be something that you'd already gone for. And now I feel like I've already talked about that this week somewhere. So it must be the energy. So remember, if you're watching these readings, not to be too concerned about what I'm talking about the situation, because the energy could fit you in another way. So say, for example, sometimes I do a reading and somebody will come back and say, no, it wasn't a romantic interest, but you described the situation between me and a friend. Or no, it wasn't about that. It was about a job. Or no, it wasn't about that. It was about, I'm just about to sell my house, but the situation fitted just the same. So I can't go through all the scenarios. So there's a little bit of the readings that you need to really sort of rely on your own intuition. We always say as readers, you know, sometimes you can be reading and I can be reading for the person you're dealing with. I don't know why that happens, but it just picks up on the main energies in the universe. So here I see someone who's a manager or a leader offering you a brand new beginning. It could be a relationship, absolutely. But I feel like here there is a real need for you to see things from a different perspective, and I'll find out why that is. This definitely could be somebody that you went for a job with before, somebody who turned their back on you. Somebody who said no, I feel like is having some sort of change of heart here. You know, I remember getting offered a job once where they'd offered it to somebody else. And they'd even taken the time to say to me I was really close to getting the role, but they'd chosen another person, which was fine. That was their choice. That's what they were looking for. Probably felt that person fitted their team a little bit more or whatever. And sometime later, I got a call to say that person hadn't worked out. Was I still interested in the role? I'm not sure if I would have taken it at that point anyway, but I'd already gone into another role. So that's the sort of energy I'm picking up on here. Now, if this does apply romantically to you, it could be that someone had chosen another person over you, or you saw it as choosing someone else over you, or even choosing something over you. But now they're back to offer you what I see as a commitment. There's definitely some sort of contracted agreement here with that Three of Pentacles. All right, let's keep going. Okay, we have the Hierophant. That's an offer of marriage. Now, if it's not, and this is a work situation for you, then it could be with a very large organization. This could be government. It can be like, oh, it could be a religious organization, but it's a big entity, a very big entity. All right, one more, and Three of Swords. Okay, so I'm feeling really strongly now that something has been offered to you before. Something had been offered to you before and you did not get it for some reason. You did not take it. It did not work out. That Three of Swords feels like sort of older energy for me. It almost feels like it should be in reverse just because of the placement. But whatever's going on here, there was something that was offered in the past that somehow didn't go forward. But I'll get a couple of cards on that and see if I can find out what it is. All right, so we have the Star card. Beautiful. That's what you want to see. With the Sun, all we need now is the Moon. And we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so the other thing that could come through here is that you may have worked for a company or an organization where you worked on some sort of casual basis, and this person wants you back, or these people want you back on a full-time basis. I feel that this is beautiful. I feel like you've got some great opportunity here. Now, sometimes we go and do contracts with people, but they don't have the capacity or the funding to hire us on a full-time basis. So it could be that somebody is revisiting that and finding that they have the capacity to offer you what they couldn't before. Definitely. But that Knight of Wands tells me you've definitely been around before. All right, Two of Swords. So decision has to be made about the future here. And the Strength card is coming through. You know, some of us believe that things happen for a reason. And I look at this and I feel the energy of this says to me that perhaps you weren't in the right place before. So maybe you felt okay with just moving away from something. You may have taken on a role as a casual thing, you know, not really being committed to working there full time. But to me, the Strength card, especially over the Sun and the Star card, says to me that you have the capacity to do this now. So it's very possible that when you worked for this person before, or you were with this person before, maybe you didn't feel in a position to take it on full time. Now, if this is a relationship I'm talking about for you, that makes a whole lot of sense, because maybe you weren't healed enough to take this on. Maybe you did need to go away and do some healing. You know, sometimes we don't see that in the beginning, but then as time goes by, we start to realize that perhaps we weren't in a position to accept something. But I feel like here, looking at this Strength card, that you definitely are ready to take this on now, whatever it is. You've done the work. You are feeling more stable, more in your own energy. Beautiful. All right, so I feel like you're thinking about it with the Hanged Man. Something here is being offered to you that is making you feel like you have to maybe restart, or let me just get into it further. But there's some sort of contract here, and again, it could be a soul contract. Some sort of ending has happened and there's a brand new beginning. The Ten of Cups does talk about the ending of something, but it's like ending up in a high place. All right, let's just have a look. Just want to ask the cards a little bit more information here. Okay, the Hanged Man's come straight out again with the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. Oh, and the Emperor with the Three of Cups. I feel like I've done this reading so many times lately. Somebody has made a decision and wants to invest in you now. That's straightforward. So whether this is job or romance, this is a straightforward, I've decided I want to invest. Maybe I didn't invest before. Maybe it wasn't the right time, place. If it was a job, again, you could have been in, say, a casual position. Now they can offer you the full-time role. This here says something completely different to me. So for those of you that this is a job situation I'm talking about, I feel like this person has perhaps realized your value after you've left. And there does seem to be this sort of bringing you back into the fold and completing something. If this is a romance, then I would say your person has done the work too. I feel like that's why that card's there. So it's like somebody is coming back in to offer you something because they couldn't offer it to you the first time around. But I do feel, whichever way this goes for you, that you've had some sort of connection to this person in the past, hence the Emperor energy. So for me, this very much talks about somebody who wasn't able to offer something before. Now, for some of you, this could be that this person was in another situation with the Three of Cups there. And maybe now they've turned their back on that and they're ready to invest. But this person's done the work. Absolutely. All right, let's pull you an oracle card. Actually, we'll pull one from the Fairy Oracle. Pull one at random here. I've got a corner coming off one of those. It's a bit sad when you see cards like and you haven't used them much and they're already starting to... I can't quite read that. 58, what a good number. 58. Faff the footer. Faff the footer, that is. So if you can have a look at that one. It starts off here. Just as life is becoming surprising, well, there's the tower right there, exciting and very interesting, though not necessarily fun, Faff the footer, fungus fairy, comes along to check out our feet. Sorry, just having a bit of a quiet moment by myself here. Oh dear. Okay, so this says here, breathe, ground, center. Maintain sanity by staying earthed. So that makes me feel very much like the Hanged Man. Do this now. Important information is coming your way, but you can only receive it properly if your feet are on terra firma and your head is well connected to the rest of your body. Okay, so I feel like here, whatever this news, that's why you've got the tower there. So whatever this news is, whatever this situation is, it may be a little bit surprising. Maybe very surprising. So I feel like for whoever I'm speaking to here, it would be good to be ready. And how do we get ready? Whenever we know something is coming, and any time, actually, even if you don't know something's coming, always to be grounded, centered in your body with your feet firmly on the soil. And if you're not really sure how to do that, or you don't meditate, you know, the easiest way to get yourself grounded is take your shoes off and walk on the grass, but feel your feet on the grass. Feel connected to the earth. That is the easiest way to ground yourself. And been many times I've done that just to get out of my head for a little while. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.